The Mars Exploration for Life program exists to search out the answers that they need for origins from an evolutionary point of view. They can't create the first cell here on Earth, so they're looking for it on Mars. Wow. Now, they think that an impactoid hit Mars and blasted off a small space speck with life on it. The aim had to be perfect because both, as you know, are orbiting rapidly. Mars is 250 million miles from the Earth, and everything is moving. That little speck must have incredible supercomputer level knowledge of the solar system, or it would never make it. It's got to be able to live in nothing, literally nothing, for 250 million miles. No sunlight, no heat. It's 200 degrees below zero, no atmosphere, no oxygen, no nutrients. It has to live in absolutely nothing for 250 million miles. It's got to avoid getting sucked into the sun when everything's sucked into the sun. I don't know how it avoids that. It's got to enter our atmosphere and avoid incineration. If you come ripping into our atmosphere, it's at 1,000,000 degrees. If you do all the math, like NASA does, and you get the angle perfect, you could drop it to 3,000 degrees. The speck must have been utterly amazing to survive the entry into that atmosphere. And so President Obama started the mission to Mars. He wanted to have 100 people living there. They gave $10 billion out of the budget, $10 billion out of the budget to see that that was accomplished. Now, there's several problems with this trip to Mars. The biggest one is this. The Earth has a magnetic field. Mars does not. The Earth's magnetic field, designed by God, protects us from solar and cosmic radiation. That is enormous protection that we take for granted many times. Mars, and nobody would disagree with this, Mars does not have a magnetic field. And so if your child signs up to go on a mission to Mars, the cosmic radiation will go through their spacecraft, through their spacesuit, through their skull, and we're being warned that the Mars trip could and will fry people's brains. And they're saying that we need to figure out how not to become a sack of fluid on the trip. So they decided to test what that radiation would do to you. Sadly, they picked mice. They radiated the mice with a radiation equal to a one-way trip to Mars. Forget living there. Forget ever coming back. What would the radiation just equal to the trip there be like? The mice suffered severe brain damage, complete dementia, damaged all of their neurons. There was massive damage to their spinal columns. So maybe you don't want to go to Mars. Well, if you don't want to go, who should be the first to go? There are volunteers out there. Bill Nye says, yes, I'd go to explore Mars. I'd go to Mars tomorrow if I could come back. You wouldn't be coming back. So we've spent all this money, billions of dollars. How are things going on Mars? What was our investment worth? They were looking for a fossil older than the Earth. They wanted to prove age. Oh, Mars is so much older. There's a fossil, it's older. Life left Mars and came to Earth. They found looking for a fossil to prove the age. Did they find it? Absolutely not. Total, complete failure. They're looking for a biosignature of microscopic life. They knew they'd never find microscopic life. They're looking for a biosignature of it, maybe a little trail or something. And so they could say, hey, spontaneous generation happened on Mars. It must have happened on Earth. Did they find the biosignature of microscopic life? Absolutely not. Again, a complete failure. In fact, this was their conclusion. The Martian surface would challenge even the hardiest of Earth's microbes to survive for more than a moment. If microbes are there, they are buried too deeply for current technology to find them. Mars was a total failure.